you just came back from Africa. You talk about it being the youngest continent and the real growth potential there. The median age is 18. In North America, it is 35. Why is there potential that maybe the rest of the world is not seeing and investing in Africa? And why is that so important right now?
Well, today, Africa's only about 14% of the world population, but that's where there's large population growth. And so almost half the kids in the world will be born there by the end of the century. And so it's a very young continent. And the question of whether those kids grow up with decent health and decent education will determine whether there's a lot of innovation and they're stable and participating in the world economy, or if it's a source of great instability and pandemics. And so investments we make now to partner with Africa to help them out, I think can make a big difference.
And Melinda, let me piggyback on that. One of the things you argue in your letter is that globalism can be a nationalist idea. Explain that for people.
Sure. We know that when you invest in people's health and they start out healthy and they go on to get a great education where they live, they'll grow up and thrive and they'll participate in their own economy. And so there's huge potential there. But conversely, if you don't, they don't thrive, and then you get more instability in the world, less security, disease. We know crosses borders. We saw it with Ebola. So we need to be making those investments so people can thrive where they are.
And Bill, let me ask you a question about the domestic U.S. You learned something about anger by going to prison. Tell us that story.
Well, first explain how Bill and Melinda Gates are sitting at prison, what that was like. I was fascinated by that too, John.
Well, of course, the U.S. has more people in prison than any other country. And understanding the stories of those people and thinking about that in our poverty work, we visited a Georgia prison. That was so touching. Then later I got a chance to, in Chicago, meet with some young black men who were in a counseling thing called Becoming a Man. And they were super nice to me, included me in the session. And it was a discussion about anger. And when's the last time you got anger, and how do you channel that anger? Are there times you don't do that well? I thought it was brilliant, and I was amazed how much that counseling session was going to help put those boys on the right track.
What was your answer, both of you, to when was the last time you became angry?
Well, I didn't come up. I was talking about how there's been more polio cases than we hoped for this last year. And
I'll bet they didn't
how mad that
yes.
made me.
Yes.
That wasn't on the top of their list.
Yeah, none of them had that exact experience.
The last time for me was, I would have said, was when I was in Africa and I saw a baby dying, literally dying needlessly on a warmer because the mother hadn't made it to the health clinic in time to give birth. The village didn't think she needed to go until too late. That made me angry.